Let's go back to a time that many will never forget, 9/11, where new laws were established for the safety of all fellow American citizens, the Patriot Act being one of them. Whether you've heard of them or not, what does it actually mean for everyday citizens? As per the legislation, the Act permits law enforcement to search and monitor any intended or perceived threats without the consent of the courts, meaning Homeland Security agencies are above all, including the courts. According to the Department of Justice, the Patriot Act improves Homeland Security by allowing law enforcement to use surveillance and wiretapping to investigate terror-related crimes, allowing search warrants to be obtained in any district where terror-related activities occur, no matter where the warrant is executed. In 2004 testimony before the United States Senate, FBI Director Robert Mueller said, "The Patriot Act has proved extraordinarily beneficial in the war on terrorism and has changed the way the FBI does business. Many of our counterterrorism success, in fact, are the direct result of provisions included in the Act." However, among many, the Act poses controversy and was later deemed unconstitutional. This Act raises concerns over the breach of privacy because agencies such as the FBI and CIA were entitled to investigate into an individual, including American citizens, without their consent. In addition, an individual could be detained without any warrant or proof of their supposed crime. In that sense, for Homeland Security and the FBI, they were above the law, causing many citizens to be distraught. Due to the controversy surrounding this act, the Second Patriot Act was founded, and here is Ethan, who will explain further.
Less than 2 years after the Patriot Act in 2001 was passed, new revisions were made. These new revisions would become known as the Patriot Act II. The new revisions were mainly to give the government more power when it came to the limiting of surveillance, wiretapping, detention, and prosecution. For example, the then current court limits on local police spying on religious and political activity would be repealed. There were many more similar type changes. The government would be allowed to obtain credit records and library records without a warrant. Wiretaps without any court order for up to 15 days after a terror attack would be permissible, and Americans could be extradited, searched, and wiretapped at the order of foreign nations, whether or not treaties allow it. Other revisions were made to limit the release of information by the government. The government would no longer be required to disclose the identity of anyone, even an American citizen, detained in connection with a terror investigation until criminal charges were filed, no matter how long that takes. These revisions also targeted immigrants, saying lawful immigrants would be stripped of their right to a fair deportation hearing, and federal courts would not be allowed to review immigration rulings. Individuals engaged in civil disobedience could risk losing their citizenship, and their organizations could be subject to wiretapping and asset seizure.
Coming up is a live representation of how the CIA might use this power to enforce the law.
What do we have on the target?
Well, sir, it's not much, but we did find this.
Is that a video?
No, sir, this is live.
What do you mean this is live?
Sir, there's a motion-activated sensor in the phone that he's using, and it appears to have picked up these activities. Now, I'm not sure what is happening here, but I think we're onto something.
This is fascinating. Do we have anything else?
Yes, sir. We have satellite. We have his emails. We even have his text messages.
Is this enough for a positive location?
Yes, sir, it is. Command! Where is he? Sir, he's right there! He's right there! Bobby Shmurda, hands in the air! Get up! You are under arrest for tax evasion on the ground! He couldn't handle the neutron style. Criminal scum, tax evasion is not okay. You can't do that, dude. That's messed up. Come on, boys. I got it. President Bush.
Up next, we see how Edward Snowden is screwed by the government.
Edward Snowden was born on June 21, 1983, in Elizabeth City, North Carolina. Snowden's grandfather, father, and mother all worked in federal government. Snowden always believed that he would work in the federal government because of this. Snowden passed the GED test and took classes at Anne Arundel Community College, while he also took online classes at the University of Liverpool, England. Snowden felt that he had a duty to fight for oppressed people in the Iraq War. He enlisted in the U.S. Army, but broke both of his legs during a training accident. Snowden sought another way to serve his country. He was offered a position as a global communications officer at the CIA in 2006. Snowden was sent to the CIA's Secret School for Technology Specialist, where he studied and trained full-time. In 2007, Snowden was sent to Geneva, Switzerland to maintain computer network security for a CIA mission. Later, in 2011, Snowden was stationed in Maryland as a cyber strategist. While he was stationed in Maryland, Snowden copied info about the NSA's electronic spying programs. It is estimated Snowden stole between 50,000 to 200,000 documents. Snowden gave these documents to reporters Glenn Greenwald and Laura Poitras in Hong Kong. After the information had been published, Snowden hid with other refugees in Hong Kong. Snowden would later be charged with 2 counts of violating the 1917 Espionage Act. Snowden sought asylum in Russia to escape U.S. prosecution, and on August 1, 2013, Snowden was granted temporary asylum in Russia, which means he was untouchable by the U.S. His asylum was only supposed to last until 2017, but it was extended to 2020 more recently. Snowden continues to reside in Russia today.
We have his text messages! We have his... Okay.